Right now, you are the only kind of human alive. There is no other species of person on Earth. No one who thinks differently, builds differently, buries their dead differently. Just us. And we treat that like it's normal. It isn't. For almost all of human history, being human meant sharing the planet with other humans who were not you. There were at least 9 of them. Then there was one. This is the story of what happened to the rest. Most people already know the answer to this, or think they do. We were smarter. We had better tools, better language, better brains. The others couldn't keep up, so they died out. Natural selection did what natural selection does. It's a clean story. It has a winner, and it has losers, and it makes you the winner. Almost none of it is true. The Neanderthals had larger brains than you do, not slightly. On average, a Neanderthal skull held more brain tissue than the one sitting inside your head right now. Whatever happened to them, it was not a failure of intelligence. So what actually happened? Start with how crowded it used to be. 300,000 years ago, if you walked across the old world, you would have met other people. Not other tribes. Other kinds. In Europe and Western Asia, the Neanderthals, thick-boned, cold-adapted, built like something you would not want to fight. In Siberia, the Denisovans, a group we didn't even know existed until 2010 when scientists sequenced DNA from a single fingertip bone found in a cave in the Altai Mountains. On the Indonesian island of Flores, Homo floresiensis, adults who stood about 3.5 feet tall. In the Philippines, Homo luzonensis, a species we only identified in 2019, and across Asia, Homo erectus, who had already been walking this planet for over 1 million years before any of us existed. 9 species at minimum. Probably more we haven't found yet. They overlapped. They met. In some places they lived within a few days' walk of each other for thousands of years. And then, one after another, they stopped. Here's where the clean story starts to fall apart. In 1957, in a cave in northern Iraq called Shanidar, archaeologists uncovered the skeleton of a Neanderthal man. He had a crushed left eye socket. He was almost certainly blind on that side. His right arm had withered and was missing below the elbow. He had suffered a severe head injury, and he had likely lost most of his hearing. And he had lived like that for years. Someone fed him. Someone moved him. Someone kept him alive long after he had stopped being able to hunt, fight, or contribute anything at all. He died around 45,000 years ago. An old man, cared for until the end by people who had every practical reason to abandon him and didn't. That is not a primitive animal. That is a society with a conscience, and it goes further. In a cave in southern France called Bruniquel, Neanderthals walked 1,000 feet underground in total darkness, broke off hundreds of stalagmites, and arranged them into deliberate rings on the cave floor. That was 176,000 years ago. We still have no idea what it was for. They made jewelry from eagle talons. They ground pigment and painted cave walls in Spain. Walls dated to 64,000 years ago, at least 20,000 years before a single modern human set foot in Europe. We didn't teach them that. They already knew. So what killed them? Us. Not the way you think. Look at the map. Not one location. All of them. Modern humans move into Europe. Within a few thousand years, the Neanderthals are gone. Humans move into Asia. The Denisovans disappear from the record. Humans reach Flores. The small humans vanish. Humans reach Java, the last stronghold of Homo erectus. Erectus is never seen again. Everywhere we arrive, someone stops existing. And it isn't only people. Australia loses its giant kangaroos and its marsupial lions within a few thousand years of human arrival. The Americas lose mammoths, giant sloths, horses, camels, around 35 genera of large mammals, most of them within a geological instant of the first humans walking south through the ice. The Neanderthals held Europe for 200,000 years, through ice ages, through volcanic winters, through predators that would kill you in 10 seconds. They lasted until we showed up. Then they lasted 5,000 more. But there was almost certainly no war. And the honest answer is, probably not spears either. The climate was shifting the whole time. Ice sheets were advancing and retreating faster than anything those populations had survived before. Some of those extinctions would likely have happened without us, but not all of them. And not that fast, because the truth is stranger than a massacre. Genetic studies suggest Neanderthal populations were tiny, possibly no more than a few thousand breeding individuals across the entire continent, scattered in small, isolated bands. They were already inbred. Their genetic diversity was collapsing before we ever arrived. Then modern humans came out of Africa in numbers they had never faced. Not an army, a flood. We had wider trade networks, larger groups, more children surviving to adulthood. Every valley we settled was a valley they no longer had. Every deer we killed was a deer they didn't eat. You don't need a single act of violence to erase a species. You just need to be slightly better at not dying for 200 generations in the same place. They weren't defeated. They were outnumbered, outbred, and slowly, quietly squeezed out of the world. And here's the part almost nobody says out loud. That is worse. A war has villains. This was just arithmetic, except they didn't entirely disappear. In 2018, scientists sequenced a bone fragment from Denisova cave, a girl who died around 90,000 years ago. They gave her a name, Denny. Her mother was a Neanderthal. Her father was a Denisovan. She was a first-generation child of two different human species, and she was found on the first serious attempt, which means this wasn't rare. It was ordinary. We didn't only replace them, we met them, and we had children with them. If your ancestry traces outside of Africa, roughly 1 to 2% of your genome is Neanderthal. If your ancestry traces to Melanesia or Papua New Guinea, up to 5% of you is Denisovan, a species we have never even seen a complete skull of. Their immune genes are in you, their skin genes are in you. Some of the code that decides how your body handles cold, how you sleep, how you survive at altitude, written by them. Still running. They buried their dead. They cared for the dying. They walked into the dark with torches and built something we still cannot explain. They looked at a wall and decided it should have a hand on it. They were not a rough draft of us. They were another way of being a person. And that way is gone, and it is gone because we were here. 9 kinds of human, then 8, then 5, then 2. Then just us, and some of them are still inside you, waiting in your blood, in a body that never got to know what it was carrying.